Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys, we are back. This is episode 273, The Piano Level. This is the 2024 film based on the very famous August Wilson play. The logline here is, the film follows the lives of the Charles family as they deal with the themes of family legacy and more in deciding what to do with an heirloom, the family piano. This movie is directed by Malcolm Washington, stars Samuel L. Jackson, John David Washington, and Danielle Deadwyler. It's also produced by Denzel Washington, and I don't remember his daughter's name, but she's also a producer on this. So it's
Olivia. She's also in it too.
Yes, she plays. She plays young Mama Ola. So, it's and I think Paulette Washington
and his wife was in there too.
Is also in it. Yeah. So everyone in the Washington family was involved in this, which I think is dope. That's real cool. So, I'll go first in my thoughts on this. Look, I thought it was good. All of these August Wilson adaptations are good. It's a real, like, black people kind of putting on a real masterclass of bringing plays to the big screen, or in this case, the small screen. I enjoyed it, but it's probably my least favorite of the adaptations so far, right? With Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and Fences being the other ones. So this is third in that list, and it's mostly just because those two are really, really good. Like, they're just excellent adaptations. But also, I found the ending of this to sort of be kind of lackluster, where I found Fences and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom to just have a little bit more meat on the bones, actually throughout. But I did enjoy this, but just not as much as those. So all the performances I thought were really good. I thought, as Micah I'm sure will go on about this, John David Washington, if you close your eyes, you can't tell him from Denzel Washington in this movie. Like, it's kind of wild. Samuel L. Jackson is, like, wildly understated, which is, like, very different for him. I thought Danielle Deadwyler was very good. Ray Fisher proving that he just worked for a really shitty director, and actually that guy has real acting abilities, which I kind of feel sorry for shitting on him all the time, but, like, maybe don't be Cyborg in those terrible ass movies, because you actually have talent. Michael Potts,
classically trained actor.
Yeah, because playing Cyborg was literally, like, his first thing outside of, like, being in plays, which was interesting. Yeah. Michael Potts was very good as Whiny Boy, and Corey Hawkins was also good as Avery. So yeah, I enjoyed everybody in this. So I'll push it to you, Terrence. What were your thoughts?
I like this. I just like watching black actors act, and that's basically what this movie was. You can tell it's a play. Every time I watch a play or a movie like this, I'm just fascinated how they can just remember this shit, remember their lines, because there's so many parts of the movie where someone is just giving, like, a soliloquy or just some kind of monologue through it, and, like, it just blows my mind that they're able to just remember their lines and recite them so well. Cast was great. I liked everybody in it. I love Danielle Deadwyler. Everything I've seen her in, she's been great. John David Washington sometimes hit or miss for me. He was very good in this. He was, like Micah said, he was channeling his dad. Samuel L. Jackson, like you said, he was just kind of like, I'm in the background. Well,
yeah, surprise
that girl alone. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it was just like, what's going on? What's going on here? I don't know. Like, why don't y'all relax, chill out, take it easy. Ray Fisher, it took me a minute to get used to his character. I was like, what is he doing right now? Like, the voice was annoying a little bit.
He was pulling a George, like he just read Of Mice and Men, and he was just like, "Oh, what's this George guy? A big dummy."
I assumed he was kind of slow, like, mentally, but, like, that's not true.
And I was kind of like, I don't know, but I got used to it. Like, maybe like 30 minutes in, I'm like, okay, this is working for me. And I didn't recognize him. I didn't even know that was him.
I didn't know it was him for, like, a good 20 minutes
until I was like, oh shit, wow, that's fucking Ray Fisher. He's okay. It's the first thing I've seen him since Cyborg. No, he was in something else recently. recently.
Wasn't he in like Till?
What the fuck was he in? Was he in? No,
He was in Rebel Moon for a bit.
No, was it something? Maybe I didn't see him in anything else. Maybe I'm tripping, but I swear I saw him in something else after
his
all that
last
terrible shit he was in.
his filmography is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies long. 5 of them are Zack Snyder movies. So his
so maybe
movies
that was the last thing. Maybe
the 2 Rebel Moon movies.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he was pretty good in this. I liked him in this.
Apparently, he was in True Detective season 3, but that was in 2019. So, yeah, you saw him in Rebel Moon.
Well, never mind then. I thought I saw him in something else. Yeah, it was all around. It was just good. Like you said, I don't know if this is probably the third best. Fences, they like Viola Davis won it. Did she win for Best Actress in Fences?
I thought she did, but maybe not. I don't know. She probably.
I don't remember, but like Fences is just an amazing movie. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is really good. And this is probably the third out of the best because it just kind of feels. It doesn't feel as big as those other 2 movies. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I just like watching black actors act because we're really fucking good at it. And we don't get the credit we fucking deserve. This is a great movie. And we didn't know it was out. It's been out for fucking 3 months and we didn't even know it was out because no one was talking about it.
By the way, Viola Davis did win the Academy Award. Or excuse me, she won a Golden Globe for that and a British Academy Films Award for that.
No.
So there you go.
There were some characters in there that were only in there for like a 30-second clip that I kind of wish they was in there for a little bit longer. Gail Bean. But, it's unfortunate. Erykah Badu was in there for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, getting a little freaky. Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is about right. Good for you.
Yeah, right. That song she was singing, I'm like,
all right.
Would.
Yeah, of course.
I'll touch your thigh and then, or don't touch my leg because you're going to end up touching my thigh. And then, other things happen. I'm like, you goddamn right, Erykah. You goddamn right.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The song is timeless.
It's right. But it's a good movie. If you haven't watched it, I will check it out. Like just to see people acting.
Yeah.
It's just a great, and the story is, we'll talk about it. It got a little wild at the end. But.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll say it. This movie, I enjoyed it, but I'm going to be fair, right? Like, this is maybe like a couple steps up from a Lee Daniels movie, guys. Like, in terms of messaging, and like, just like, the metaphor is right there, right? And
yeah,
look, but that's the point, right? Because like that's the play, right? I get it.
Yeah.
But you got to figure out a way to. The big problem with these cinematic plays is that they're not really taking advantage of film as a medium in the unique ways that you can when telling a story, right? Like the majority of this movie is like there's a couple of establishing shots like, hey, we're in Mississippi. Hey, we're in Pittsburgh. This is the street that they live on, right? But a lot of it is in the interior of this house. And that's just the nature of the story. It's a play. Everything takes place, in 1 or 2 locations. I get it. And for what it is, it's good, right? Overall, performances are outstanding. The reason Sam Jackson and John David Washington and Ray Fisher and Michael Potts are really, really good in it is because they've been doing this on Broadway from 2022 to 2023.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
they've been playing these roles, right? So they know these characters. So John David Washington has honed this particular performance, and I hate to have to keep like. Comparing him to his father, but like it's really like there in this movie. Like
you close your eyes, yo. You close your eyes. You can't tell daylight between those 2 actors. You just can't. They sound exactly the same.
Right.
When he's singing and shit.
Right. And sometimes some people say that, and I'm like, all right, it ain't that. Because like Terrence, sometimes John David Washington is hit or miss, depends on the project. But this was just, I mean, come on, man. It's either him or that comedian that does the Denzel Washington impression. Like it's one of those two dudes. Look, I think this movie is solid. I think it is a tad too long. I agree with you. It is my third favorite of the two. I think it's in order of release is where I'd rank these movies.
Yeah.
But for me, Fences and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom are a very close 1 and 2, whereas this one is a little more distant.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, but it's a solid movie, if a little too long. And I appreciate the themes and symbolism that I guess we'll talk about a little later. But there's a lot of talking in this movie. A lot of talking, and I don't think it's propelling the story as much. I don't know. Well, maybe I'll change my mind. We'll get into it. But there are metaphorical ghosts in this movie, guys.
Ghosts could be real. You don't know.
They are real.
They're not real.
I don't know about could be. They're real.
It's insane.
Yeah, the holy kind.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
I believe that you believe that. Yes. So the film opens up, or the play opens up in what 1911?
1911, I think.
Yeah.
My great grandmother was born.
God damn.
You get a Titanic sank too.
Good.
Or was that 1913?
I think that's actually 1913. Either way, they deserved it. Get off that boat. They didn't, sir. I'm just
it drowned. It sank on in 1911.
Oh, well, good.
No,
anyway.
1912. Sorry. Anyway,
even better. Stay off the boat. So the movie opens in 1911. It's New Year's, and you're seeing some folks stealing this piano under the guise of night, and they are there's fireworks, and they're taking out this piano and they're stealing it. But you don't have a sense of who anybody is, but you see a bunch of white people celebrating the New Year's, and you see black people putting this very nice looking piano in a wagon and getting it the fuck out of there. So,
given what we know of the movie, this is waste. This is padding the movie, because they actually tell you what this is later on in the movie.
About an hour in.
Yeah, with some of the shots. So if you don't know what this is, and you have no context for what this is, and the movie tells you what it is later, and with flashbacks, right? It's not just Sam Jackson telling you, it's with flashbacks. So in my opinion, this entire first part could be chopped off and you would miss nothing. Now, maybe you just want to start the movie off with a bang, right?
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm already sitting here. I don't know. It just feels like waste to me.
Okay. Yeah. So and to Micah's point, what he would have liked to see is this movie about black people living their lives, driving a truck of watermelons. That's how he would have opened the film. so that's
yes, I would have loved to see black people driving a truck of watermelons, not a bunch of white people burning a nigga's house down. Yeah, that's what I would like to see.
I'm just stating what the facts are. It fast forwards 25 years later, and you see John David Washington's character. Was it trying to think. Like,
Boy Willie.
Boy Willie, because there's Willie Boy as well. Like, all right,
That's his father. Yeah.
his father, right? Like, let's just please confuse everyone. Yeah. So we see John David Washington's character, Boy Willie. He's the young kid that we saw in the beginning, who watched his father, then younger father, stealing this piano. So we see Boy Willie and Lyman driving a truck of Micah's favorite fruit, watermelons, up to Pittsburgh to the south to sell them.
Did they steal the truck? I don't remember if they tell you whether they stole the truck.
No, it's Lyman's truck.
Okay, did he steal the truck?
I don't know. But they got
the watermelons.
A good old fashioned watermelon.
They might have stole the watermelons, because I remember that later on they tell you, they give what's this dude's name? They give Crawley's like backstory to why he's not around. And this truck was a big reason why. No, they had to haul some wood.
Yeah,
they were stealing wood.
Yeah, they were stealing wood. So I think this is just Lyman's truck.
So you see Boy Willie and Lyman. They've come into Pittsburgh because, again, this is the Pittsburgh cycle. Everything takes place there, and they go to see his sister and her roommate. Like, what is Doker's connection to her besides
he's
like
the uncle?
Is he his uncle? Okay.
He and Whining Boy and Willie Boy are brothers.
Right. Okay. And so he goes to see them.
I think is it Boy Charles is his father, or is it
Boy Charles was the three brothers' father.
Okay.
Yeah, not confused.
What the fuck?
Right. Like, we could have just called him Steve. Like, we didn't need to. They didn't need to have the names so close together. But that was apparently not the plan. So he goes to see them, and like, Boy Willie is like mad loud. It's at night.
Yeah, I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? Yo, it's like 12 o'clock at night, and you slamming on the door. Knock it off. I'd have shot that nigga.
Like, and that's basically what he's
Great Depression. I don't know what you're doing, dog. What you doing?
He had his like pistol and shit. And so him and Lyman come in, and they're out making all this ruckus. And he's like, "I'm here to see my sister." And so she of course wakes up because niggas are loud. And so she comes out. Her name is Bernice, and she is like, basically she responds as any black woman would. Why are y'all making all this noise in my goddamn house at like 2 a.m? Like, knock it off. And he's excited to see his sister, of course, and he's like, "Yeah, we're here to sell these watermelons with my friend Lyman Jackson." He's like, I was Cyborg in a movie," and she's like, "All right, anyway, get the fuck out of my house." And so she's basically just kind of curious as to why they're there. They explain that they're only up there to sell these watermelons and make some money, and so they can go back down south and buy some land. And they also talk about how this guy, Mr. Sutter, fell into a well and died, right? And he is the ancestor of the people who, one, they were slave owners, clearly, but they are the ones that had the piano that was stolen 25 years ago, right? So, and then there's a whole backstory that comes up later. And so he talks all about this, like, the reason why he fell down this well is because of the ghost of the golden dog, or the yellow dog.
Yellow dog.
Threw him down this well, right? Which is this whole idea of getting back at these white people who did terrible things to black folks. So, it's just like this long held rumor about a ghost, because ghosts aren't real except for in this movie.
So you say.
Yeah, I'm gonna hard lean on that one. All of them, even the holy ones. And so so they're getting along and drinking and everything else. And then Boy Willie starts to really like hammer home this idea of like, if I make enough money with selling these watermelons, and I already have some money, Bernice, you should sell that piano that you have, that family heirloom piano. Then I'd have enough money to buy land, and we could all live there. Like, I could make a start, and have a farm and all this other shit. And she's like, yeah, that's cool. I'm not gonna sell this piano. Get the fuck out of here. And for the rest of the movie, Boy Willie is an obnoxious jerk trying to get this
trying to get him to sell his fucking piano.
Right.
Now, his character, I don't know anything about his character during the beginning of the movie. I thought he was just all talking shit the whole time. I didn't know if he was going to get this land or not. I thought he was just like a shit talking ass nigga. All right. Like,
yeah, I got that impression.
Plans that I get this land, I would get this money, and then come up with a new plan. I was about to say something that would.
Yeah.
Keep it to myself. Have something to do with like cereal and
Yeah, you want to be an entrepreneur. I get it.
Yeah, of course, right. So anyway, like I don't know if he is full of shit. It certainly feels like he is, right? Like he's got that. Like I got an idea for everything. Like everything's gonna always work.
He's very much like got a hustler's mentality, and
right.
The rise and grind mentality.
yeah. He's got that type of mentality, but he does at least come off as a person who believes his own shit. To me,
yes,
you know what I mean.
No, he definitely is fine.
Even in the beginning, I kind of bought that, and it is, I don't know. Everyone is interesting in this movie. Well, not everyone, but the two siblings are interesting because the two siblings kind of represent two opposing views of family and legacy, and what is the meaning of said legacy. Okay, so look, because I don't necessarily want to step through this movie beat by beat, because like there's a lot of talking.
Right, I was gonna say we're gonna have to change this one up a little bit.
Right, there's a lot of talking, and it's essentially throughout the entire movie we're presenting two sides of an argument in various ways, but the argument is based upon so this piano represents this family's legacy, right? We go into a backstory of what's the big deal about this piano? Why is it so important that she keeps it? Why is it so important that he sells it, right? And the reason the piano is very striking, right? It's not just a regular piano. It has all these beautiful carvings and stuff in it. And it turns out Doker gives Lyman the backstory of this piano and why they stole it. So this piano was, and you'll have to correct, it's been a couple of days since I've seen the movie, but the piano belonged to the family that enslaved our Star family,
right?
And right, the Charles family. And from what I can remember, they at one point another white family wanted to come over and they wanted to buy two. It was like, you want this piano? I want 1.5 niggers for your piano. If you give me 1.5 niggers, I will give you this piano. And the piano changed hands, right? And the woman who the Mrs. Sutter, she loved that piano. She was like, man, I don't have my niggers. I would much rather have my niggers than this piano because I love these niggers, right? And Mr. Sutter comes and he's like, and he tells the ancestor of our main family, hey, carve some niggers into that piano because my wife misses the two niggers that were sold off. So he does, and he makes this beautiful carving. But he doesn't do that. He carves like basically what amounts to a family tree into the piano. Right. So it is literally Like their entire family history up to that point is carved in that piano, and and the lady Sutter, she was like, "Oh, I love it, and now I want to keep the piano because I got my two niggas in this piano. I don't need the real ones, right? Because I got these pictures of them in this piano, right? And so now I can play it, right? And that's why they stole the piano to begin with, because they feel like, hey, this piano doesn't belong to them. This piano is it literally cost them the lives of our family, and our family history is engraved into it. This is our piano. That's why they stole it, right? That's why it has such sentimental value, but it's a beautiful work of art, which is worth a lot of money to to everyone. But I think he wants to sell it back to the Sutters, right? In Mississippi.
No, he just wants to sell it, period.
Like he wants to sell it to whoever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. I was about to say, don't sell it back to the people that enslaved your family. But that's the dilemma, and the dilemma is, like, from her point of view, hey, this is family history. This is our legacy, and from his point of view, he's like, well, look, our family paid a heavy price to get this, so that we can build off of it. I want to sell it, not to make some quick cash. Pops instilled in me the importance of owning land. And that's why I want to use this piano to buy land, so that we can build something for ourselves. So it's not like he's not just trying to sell this thing for, some quick cash so that he can go to the, to the boom boom room or whatever, right? He's trying to establish himself. And that's the big dilemma, right? Like that's the point of this movie, right? Like, do you preserve your family legacy so that you don't forget it, or do you but become paralyzed by it, like beholden to it?
Yeah, you're not just rooted in the past. You're quite literally stuck there.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's because the piano's in the house and it's just sitting there. No one uses it.
It's just sitting there. She's not playing it. She's not. And he even says, right. She's like, look, if you told me you were playing it and you were giving lessons and it was bringing money in the house, then fine, like keep it. But you're not doing nothing with it, right? She is just beholden to this thing because she's afraid to play it, and it's because it brings back all these different, like, memories and shit.
Right.
But on the other hand, like, yo, you ready to destroy our legacy for $1? Right? Like you want to throw away all that came before for $1 to maybe make something new? Like, that's the dilemma here.
All right.
I think it's very interesting.
But let's talk about that concept, right? Like, sort of outside of just the film itself. Is it, like, take the piano out of it? Is it, where do you fall on that sort of? Okay, I guess the easiest way I could think about doing that is in movies, right? We often talk about, do we stick with, people say, oh, I'm tired of seeing movies in this, this genre or, this time period or whatever. But it's so easy for people to forget what happened when you don't talk about these things and you don't show them. Or do you just go, we're moving forward, black people in space type of shit? Like, but quite literally, right? People want to see black people doing other shit. We don't want to talk about slavery. We don't want to talk about incarceration, stuff like that. We just want to move forward and do roles that everybody else is doing. But it is so very easy to lose your history by not talking about things. Case in point, it only took 4 years for people to forget what happened the last time you put somebody in, right? Because people didn't talk about it after we had moved on. It's fine. And then people forget. Like, it doesn't take long. People have the memory of goldfish. So I'm wondering, where do you guys fall on that? Like, how do you balance between the two?
Yeah, like anything. like anything worth a damn, there has to be a balance. There has to be, because the extremes in one or the other don't work in the majority of situations. They don't work for things that are important. You have.
I would
to
argue
meet in
they
the
almost
middle
never
somewhere.
work. Period. I only eat vegetables. I only eat meat. Those are both insane.
Right, like you have to meet in the middle, and you have to have a balance, right? You can appreciate while still paying reverence, right? And to use your movie analogy, like we can yeah, we need both. We need both. Like because like unless you plan on picking up a book, like we need both. and even then,
you don't have to pick up a book. That's the
right.
thing.
That's
You literally don't
right.
have to pick up a book.
And but if we don't learn from the past, we're gonna fucking repeat. We're about to fucking repeat the past, Joe. We're about to fucking repeat the past right now.
4 years.
Yeah.
And it's gonna it's wild to me. It's wild. But you have to find a balance. And it's not easy. I can't give you, I can't give you a one or the other. Like there has to be a give and take. There has to be a push and pull. Otherwise, you're just going to be in your own corners, like the siblings in the majority of this movie. And, a goddamn seance is going to have to happen before somebody sees, one way or the other.
Right. And I would argue, like, by the end, I don't really feel like anybody kind of came together at all.
Yeah, like what?
I think they did.
Oh, all right.
I think they did. I think, just to jump to the end, I guess, during the haunting of the Charles house, Danielle Deadwyler's character starts to play the piano, and she's calling on the help of the ancestors to help her, right? Like, I need help. I need help to move forward. And for her, moving forward is playing that piano, right? Like that's moving forward, right? You can appreciate what the piano means, but you got to fucking use it, right? Like you can't just have this here. You got to use it. And for John David Washington's character, you got to appreciate the sacrifices that your family made for you, which is why he gets fucked up by that racist ass ghost, right? Like him getting his shit kicked in by that ghost at the end is the movie telling you is the visual representation of him having to go through and appreciate what his ancestors had to go through so he could be in this position to possibly buy some land.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's curious, right? Like this, I don't like. Obviously, the right answer is a balance, right? Like that to me is obvious. I think Terrence would probably largely agree as well. But it doesn't feel like people want balance. I think people often want.
No, people don't want balance. They don't. They want what they want. They want to win, because that's the nature. That's especially in this country. That's what we've cultivated in society. In this, especially in this country, we want to win, and everything is a zero-sum game.
Yeah,
you have to lose in order for me to win. I mean, that's
literally capitalism. It's
right.
What it is. Yeah, like you get to lose your life, and I get to put 3 bullets in your back, right? Things like that. Like that's the win or lose. That's how that works.
Like balance requires nuance, which doesn't exist, right? Like you have to, like, but the thing is, we have these movies. Like we have all of these movies, we have all these books that basically tell us our past history. So it's not like they have to keep making these movies over and over again. I don't mind them. Like there was a point where I got really tired of them, but I don't mind that they're being made. It's just like At what point do we move on, right? Because we can go back dozens of years. We can go back just years of all of these movies that basically tell how Black folks were treated in the past. And look, I wouldn't mind seeing Black people in space, but in this current time, we have issues with. I don't know if it's because like parents of these children don't want to teach history or what's going on, but like people don't seem to know their history now. Like when I was going to school, we learned this shit. I mean, it wasn't as much as we should have, honestly. But now it seems like they don't want to teach it. I mean, that's partially the white folks being like fucking sad that they're telling history and they're trying to get rid of it in certain states. But if they're not going to teach it in school, like you're a parent, you can also teach it to your children, right?
You have an obligation.
So, yeah, again, that whole cliched phrase is like those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. That's where we're at right now. But you have to learn from the past. You have to know your history. So as far as this piano, I don't know if I don't have in my family, I don't really have a legacy for my family, right? I don't really have anything in my family that's like an heirloom or anything like that. So to me, I don't think the piano would mean that much to me personally. Right. I would probably be like John David Washington. I'd sell it. I don't give a fuck. But that's just me. But there are some people that would absolutely not sell it. Like that Danielle Deadwyler's character. Like I understand what it took for us to get this piano, why it was made. Maybe if I was in that situation, I would keep it. But I don't think I would have it just sitting there. You know?
Right.
I think I would be playing it. So they're both not wrong, but they're both kind of like, come on now. You can't just sell it just because. I know, like I said, I would probably sell it because I would have no need for it. I don't play the piano. Wouldn't want to learn how to play the piano. And if it could help me achieve the goal that I'm actually set out to do, why not? But I understand where she's coming from. Like, I don't want to get rid of this because, like, my family died because of this fucking thing. So.
Right. Micah, do you guys have heirlooms now or things that you're keeping now, like to pass to your kids?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
we have so my father's side of the family, you know, they want to be like, you know, it's a family affair, right? Like they want that, you know what I mean? Like they see that shit in movies and it's like that's the side of the family that wants to do family reunions and stuff like that. And like it's my father's mother's side of the family, so it's not even my last name. It's her last name. And you know, we have family reunions. We have they got a book with our family tree in it that goes back to my grandmother's mother, I think is how far it goes back. And
great grandmother?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, something like that. Like my grandmother was one of like 14 kids.
God dang.
Because they didn't have Xboxes back then, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, right. Like, what else are you doing? It's a free, fun activity. I get it.
Right. So it's we have that, and I think that's kind of what they want us to do. The problem is like that whole the last like generation that really wants to keep that up they're dying off, and they're really pushing us to try and keep the family reunions going and stuff like that. And you know,
that's really hard. Like, I mean,
it is.
Just a side note, any white people are listening, just take note. This is how racism works. Micah can't trace his family back past his great grandparents. That's fucking insane, dude.
I can't trace my family past my great grandmother.
Yeah,
like I said, she was born in 1911. I have no fucking clue.
After that,
what the fuck my family tree looks like?
Yeah.
I don't even know what my great grandfather looked like. I already told you niggas. I think that nigga was white. Unfortunately, so, you know,
he was.
We've talked about this in previous episodes.
Everyone knows.
I don't know.
Everyone knows Terrence's great grandfather looked like Archie Bunker. Really?
Yeah. His affinity for cold weather. That's where it comes.
But yeah, I mean, but that's one of those things about like the sort of the inherence of American racism. Like, oh well, this is my great 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 grandfather, and he's from the old country. We're like, interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Nah, B.
Like, oh, we're gonna go back to Poland. We're gonna go to the old country and visit the family. I'm gonna go to Alabama.
Yeah, like that.
Because like that's where it stops.
Right. Yeah. What's the Chris Rock joke? Like, if you're white, sky's the limit. If you're black, the limit's the sky. Like, exactly. Right. It's a little hard, right? So, like that, but that idea of sort of hanging on to like legacy and stuff like that. Like, we have things in our house that we're making sort of like our personal, like our immediate family legacy. Things that like we try to hold on to pass on to her. Things we've gotten like in traveling and stuff like that, or like my wife has some stuff because half of her family's white, so they have things from like long ago that they could pass on to each other. Like my wife has stuff from her grandmother and her grandparents in India that are like super old things, right? That she would want to pass on to our daughter. So like those kind of things are very cool. Like she has original like an original like makeup kit that her great grandmother had, right? Like stuff from India and stuff like that. Like shit from like the early 1900s, right? You know, so it's those kind of things she wants to pass on to her, and I think that's awesome. And I wish I had things like that to pass on to my daughter, but I don't. Maybe my mom like weirdly has something in the back. I don't know. But so I do understand the idea of holding on to those things and having them. But like to Terrence's point, like it's really hard to appreciate those things when it's only like a generation back, right? Like it just you're like, yeah, but this was made by Milton Bradley in 1987. Why do I give a shit about it?
The fuck do I want this fucking Monopoly playing boy that y'all was playing back in
right,
1965? I don't care.
Right, here's my Cal Ripken rookie card. Who gives a fuck? They made 30,000 of these, right? Like, so it's not particularly special. Or at least not in our eyes. So yeah, look, I do get Boy Willie's perspective, right? Especially the idea if he's not bullshitting you and he's actually like, hey, I'm going to do these things for real. You know, you are sacrificing the opportunity to have this better life for being sort of so hardline connected to the past that you cannot succeed. And look, I'm sympathetic to people's argument of if we keep making quote unquote slavery movies, then we can never progress into making these other films where black people are doing X, Y, Z. I'm sympathetic to that argument. I don't agree with it, but I'm sympathetic to it because then like there are tons of movies now that black people are in, not millions of them, but there are a lot of TV series and stuff like that, especially TV series where black people are doing things that are quote unquote less traditional. So I get the argument, but I just don't fundamentally agree with it.
To go back to your movie analogy, you know, the only reason that I had a problem with all these like slave movies is, you know, it takes a lot to get a movie made, and it takes a lot of help, especially from white people. You need white producers to help fund these movies. And if these movies were even recognized, like it's a bunch of white people glad handing each other. Mm-hmm. And that just didn't sit right with me.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
And it feels, and they treated it, I felt like they treated it like the flavor of the month. You know, like Hollywood always does, right? Like, oh, you got a volcano movie? We got a volcano movie. Yes. You got a meteor hitting the world movie? We got a meteor hitting the world movie. You got a niggas in peril movie? We got a niggas in peril movie. Like, I just that's the thing. That's the only reason I got tired of that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's totally fair.
But in terms of like seeing those stories, like, yeah, man. Like, because look, if I'm going to be doom and gloom in this country, we're history is about to be rewritten.
Yeah.
And we are going to need artists to help remind people that, like, nah, this is what happened, right? This is what actually happened. So
yeah. I mean, that is something.
But those movies exist. That's my argument. Like, they already exist.
Yeah, they do.
More of them,
and they need
how many more of
them
them do we need? I mean, are we going to be talking about like shit that happened in 2017? But that doesn't necessarily.
I mean, look, here's the thing: those movies do exist, but when people, if you are coming up in a time where that history is not being taught in schools, how much, on average, do people have the impetus to go back and look for those things? How much impetus do even our generation have to going back and reading books from the 1960s? Not much, right?
We had to go see stuff like Amistad at a school field trip. Like, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna take you to see the movie. We're gonna take you to the movies," and we're like, "Yay!" to see Amistad.
No,
wait, what? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, y'all gonna learn today. It's like, God damn, this is.
But again, it's up to you. If they don't teach it in school.
And
you're
right.
Like,
I can't.
Parents are working, and
but it
like,
is your responsibility.
Sometimes parents are just, they're doing a lot, but like, sometimes niggas be lazy. You don't want to teach your kids nothing. You just keep it 100. Sometimes it's completely up to the school to teach you everything, and I'm like, no, it's not always up to. It's not completely up to the fucking schools to teach your children shit.
No,
like,
fuck no.
Yeah. My father taught me stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and he worked a lot. So did my mom. So there was no excuse. I get it, but again, the information is at the tip of your fucking fingers. I didn't have a smartphone. We didn't have smartphones when we were growing up, so we had to go to either the library, or we had to learn in school, or our parents taught us. Like, if you want to know, hey, what happened in 1865? Why is Juneteenth a thing? Nigga, just use AI. Why is Juneteenth a thing? And you can read it right there. It's right there.
Yep.
But they don't even do that. They go to fucking TikTok and watch niggas doing dances and shit all day. I'm going on an old man rant because these little niggas get on my fucking nerves because I work with them now, and they really irritate me. This nigga didn't know what the fuck the Matrix was. It made me so mad.
What?
No. It was born in 2003, yo.
Oof.
Yeah, and I was like,
is that one of those old black and white movies? Get away from me. You've
never seen Independence Day? What the fuck? Okay. You know what? I'm old. You're making me really angry right now. So,
you know what? My hip hurts. I don't know.
You mean the movie with Jesse T. Usher? Yeah, I saw that movie.
I asked this nigga, who was in... I was like, you know the movie Independence Day? He's like, yeah, I think so. I was like, who was in it? And they were like, that white dude? I'm like, get the fuck away from me, nigga. Come on, man. So they don't even go back. Like, I watched Roots when I was a kid. And that movie came out like 1977, right?
Yeah.
When I was a teenager.
Yeah, but
20 years old by the time I watched that shit.
Yeah, but in fairness, you're a 75-year-old black man in a 40-something-year-old black man's body. Everyone knows this. But yeah, no, I do think there is a need, and I think, to Micah's point, there's going to be a real need for artists of all kinds, but also just regular ass black people to educate your kids, because they are going to try to rip this information out of your hands as much as humanly possible over the next period, if not long, unfortunately. And it is, it's so funny. Here's a bit of an old man rant as well. I was on my phone, and that clip came up of Mos Def being interviewed, where they're like, "Do you think Drake's music is hip hop?" And he's like,
"So many skews.
It's so many skews. It's so likable, right?" And he's fucking laughing about it. But he does that thing at the end of that interview, which I thought is the, like, people make, they laugh about the one part because it's hilarious. But he says, like, that music is like, oh, it's, it's fun, whatever, it's likable. But what happens when the empire is falling down? Then what good is that music, right? Like, because the idea of the origins of hip hop and what hip hop should be is, it doesn't necessarily need to be likable all the time. It's supposed to be pushing back. It's supposed to be telling shit, like talking real shit about what is really happening, what you're really seeing. And that's kind of how I feel about yes, it's cool when you get a black movie and it's like, oh shit, it got lasers in it. That's great. I love that. But you also need art that is going to tell you something. And movies like this telling you, like, do not give up on your legacy. Do not give up on your history. You are required to understand these things, because if you do not, you are gonna get beat up by a ghost, or you're gonna be. The real obvious point is you are going to get hurt in the future by something that you're not going to see coming, basically, because you're not connected enough to your past. And so I do think you do need movies and plays like this to keep black people rooted. And there's a lot of young black people who just don't realize that. And there's a lot of,
like, case in point,
a lot of young black
these
people who
states
do.
that are pushing that are like trying to get rid of voting rights.
Yes.
Like our ancestors fought so we could vote, and you just don't do it. And then they're banking on you just not really giving a fuck. I understand.
Right.
I understand politics is all a lot of it is a bunch of bullshit, there's a lot of bluster and everything like that. But at the end of the day, we have the power to put those people in office. Whether like, yeah, you can gerrymander and all that other shit. But like, if everybody that could vote got out and actually voted, it wouldn't be the way it is now. It just wouldn't. Because you would pay attention and you would realize, oh, these motherfuckers are really trying to fuck us over, especially in red states. I understand they make it very difficult in red states, and they do whatever they can to keep people from voting. And there are more white people in a lot of those states, and like, I don't know how much the black vote would matter as far as because one vote, it's a majority rule in states, right?
Yeah.
The more people vote, there's no right. So if you voted, maybe the things that are happening in your state wouldn't be happening, but you just kind of like don't pay attention. And like, your ancestors fought so you could do that, so you could get shit done.
Yeah.
But you're too worried about other shit. And then like, the longer it goes on, like, the more they're going to just completely fuck you over, to the point where you are going to have to come in with like an ID or whatever. Like, I don't even need an ID in Maryland to vote. they just look, oh yeah, you're registered. Cool.
They say, what's your name? What's your address?
What's your address?
That's
right. They just, wow, okay, you cool. You can go vote. Like, bringing in an ID and all this other shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just a tax.
Like, I registered already. It's all a bunch of nonsense. So, like, if you don't realize what your ancestors did to get to where you are now, and you don't want to learn, okay, cool. Keep doing that shit. It's going to affect you. It will. It already is. Because, like I said, I'll be trying to, like, I'll be like a teacher. I'm like, you want to know why this is happening to you, right? Because this, and this. They call me They call me Wikipedia at work. they really do. That's what they're good at. Because it's pretty funny. I know a little bit about a lot.
That's funny. Like, oh shit, here comes Wikipedia Brown. Here he comes.
It's true. But yeah, if you don't, like, it's so easy to learn. It's so easy to learn about your past. That's the part that makes me so mad.
Again, like, you made the point. Like, we have AI now. Like, to explain certain shit that is a little bit harder to understand, to say it in plain language, you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. Like, it's not perfect, but you got them good.
Ask the young people at your job if they know what an encyclopedia is.
Hell no. Like, I'll ask them.
Yo, my parents.
What is Encyclopedia Britannica, nigga? What is that?
Yeah, what is
Britannica?
What is that? Shoes?
Did either of you have that set of books?
Yeah.
When you were younger?
My parents had. We had World Book. That was the cheapest World Book.
I remember that commercial. That white boy.
And we and it's funny because, like, that shit gets outdated after like a decade. Like,
it gets outdated the second they deliver to your house. It's outdated. What the fuck? Oh, dinosaurs were real. Oh shit, I didn't know that. Like, yeah, no, it was. I remember opening those books and being like, everything is in here, and then like 2 years later, I was like, nothing of relevance is in here. I can learn nothing from these. They took up so much space. But yeah.
But we're the adults, right? We're the adults. And I don't think, like, I don't have children, but I'm assuming, like you said, you have like heirlooms from on your wife's side. Like, Micah, are you teaching your children? Like, well, they're like 5, so we're like they're kind of
they're 5.
But like,
so
do you plan on
Well, yeah,
doing
I
that
have
as
to,
you get
right?
older?
Because I didn't. Well,
You
look,
don't
I
have
didn't
to,
get.
which is
I
apparently the
didn't
issue that's
get.
going on now. No one is.
I didn't get a real like Black history education until I went to college. Right, I took an
Right.
African
I
American
remember you said
studies,
that.
and I bought like I got this book from the library and never brought it back. So I guess I stole it, called Black Feminist Thought. And it was and
First
that's where I
steal
that's
shit. Like, wow.
where and that's where I got most of my education, because I went to an HBCU, which probably won't get funded throughout these next 4 years. So yeah, I'm going to try and teach them as much as I know, but I want to foster the idea that they can come to me with questions. And I might have to. It's weird because like we live around a lot of white people and Hispanic people, and I'm gonna have to talk to them about them, because like hopefully not for a while, because like everybody's just kids and they don't know any better.
Right.
But at the same time, and like the one time he got into an argument with somebody, like the one time somebody was picking on him, it was a black kid. I'm like, fuck, man.
Supposed to stick together.
Like, right. Like it's y'all two against them.
Against the world, man.
Come on, yo. So, but yeah, I have to. I feel like I have to, because like I got a couple of boys, and people are going to, I mean, I've probably said this countless times, but people are going to assume that they are more than what they are.
Of course.
They're not little men, they're little boys, or less. Right. They are at the same time big, strong men that are completely fucking dumb. That's what they're going to assume.
Yeah.
And, in at least one of those cases, it won't be true. And
he's gonna fight you when you get older. Yeah. He's gonna fight you. He like 7.
So yeah, I feel like I have, like I got that's the way that I can prepare them. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna have to prepare them differently, man. Like the same but different, right? Like I'm gonna have to sit them down and talk to him about history, because like he's going around like he knows who Donald Trump is. And my father was like, well, what do he know about that? I'm like, the guy was the president. Like, they tell you about the president at school, right? Like,
it's his president in his memory now.
Right. This is his Reagan era.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah. I knew who the president was when I was like 4 years old, apparently.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird.
No, but that's about right. Like, that's about right.
So yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, I was really hoping this election would have gone a different way.
Really,
yeah, really would have. As the father of a young black girl who has an Indian mother, really would have been nice. Just saying, really would have.
Right, man.
Really would have worked out a lot better. Yeah, I'm like, all right, I guess we're going with the Mexican female president. So at least we got something. Look up something.
Right. It's weird. It's weird how history. It's weird how history is repeating itself, huh? It's weird, right? Because we don't fucking talk about it.
Yeah. One, you took a shitty movie actor and made him president. Then you took a shitty guy from TV and made him president.
Right.
Good job, everyone.
Game show host and make him president. Like, come on, man.
Job. They're both having sundowning in the middle of the day. Great.
Right. So my hope is that we can kind of get through this shit. And these 4 years can go by as quickly as 4 years can go by. And hopefully come out of this shit the other side. I need shit. If this is going to be cyclical, then like who was after Reagan? Bush.
You got JD Vance.
Bush won.
Yeah, you got JD Vance.
Bush won. Shit.
Now, in fairness, that's only for 4 years, and then you're back to fucking a saxophone playing white dude is
Right, and then we hit the 90s, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
we
all
hit
right.
the
That's all
90s.
right. We're doing
It's all
economy.
good.
yeah, all right, man.
Get like a nice little good 8 years,
Great.
and then we go back to a
fucking
moron.
decade. A fucking decade. We got to get through this goddamn decade if history is repeating itself.
Yeah, hopefully
Hopefully
we learn a little bit faster this time.
Again, we have all the information at our fingertips.
Yeah, but I mean, so
It proves people are not as smart as they think they are. They're just not. 'Cause
No,
there's way you
no,
should
I
be
think
this
that-
fucking stupid when there's so much information right in your face every day.
Yeah.
There's no point. There's no reason. But here we are.
all right, so let's talk about Avery. So we find out Avery, played by Corey Hawkins, aka
Wants
Black
to be a
Bauer.
pastor.
Yeah, he's a pastor. I think.
Trust them niggas.
Thank you. I was gonna say this dude looks about as slick as a motherfucker. So he apparently is trying to marry Bernice. Like he's like, come on now, come on girl. Like you know how I roll. Like, and she's like, yeah, I know how you roll. I'm good. And apparently he tried to get her to sell a piano to help open up his church, which for me feels like, yeah, dude, I told you. Like that's kind of how I read it. I was like, I bet he did. Trying to steal black people's legacy for $1. And so, yeah, he's I guess he's a reasonable person, but I don't trust him. He looks too clean. So
yeah, you only trust dirty niggas.
I don't trust a nigga in a suit with the gold chain on the outside. I don't with the big ass gold cross. I do not. No. And look at how David Washington's character. He's like, nah, I'm a charlatan. Like, nah, I'm not fine. So he comes around and Willie Boy is just super concerned about, like, so I heard you had somebody come up and try to buy a piano. Oh, like that's his sole focus. Like that's all he's worried about. But Avery is clearly like a dude from back, like around the way. So like, yeah, he's a preacher, but he also kind of a street nigga too. Like he really is.
He's the type of preacher that I don't trust, like a convert. Like, oh, I've seen the error of my ways, and now I'm on to a new scheme.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah.
He plays this role very, very well.
He's a good actor, man. Corey Hawkins.
He is a very good actor.
Yeah, he's a very good actor. I've never seen him in a bad fucking role.
He was great. He was great in
Another
Macbeth.
theater actor.
Yeah, he was great in Macbeth as well. Playing opposite Denzel. So then we meet. Oh, excuse me, Denzel. No.
I think that's how you're really supposed to pronounce his name, right? That's what he says.
Yeah.
It's like, my name is really Denzel. Like,
yeah. No,
that sounds gross.
No, I don't like it. I found out Wood Harris's his real first name. I don't like it either. You're Wood Harris to me.
What is his first name?
Sherwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
What's his brother's name? It was Wood and I forgot his last name.
Oh, I forget.
What is his brother's name?
He's the dude she tried to drown in
in the
Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah.
Diary of a
Mad Black Woman.
Yeah. So then we meet Michael Potts' character, Whining Boy. And he is an old friend of Doker's and he comes over to the house. Him and Doker are talking and he's talking about how like he's got a divorce and things are much better for him now and all this other shit. He can go anywhere in life where he wants. And he's just, again, like, he's kind of a bit of a scammer. We'll find out later on. But he kind of reminds me of what I think Boy Willie kind of would end up being to some degree.
Right.
And this is where we get the sort of the backstory of that Micah talked about earlier with the piano and the his family back in the day, and and how everything worked as far as slavery and everything else, right? Fast forward through that, we see Lyman and Boy Willie. They're selling these. They're finally out there selling the watermelons. And look, these white people cannot get enough. And I don't want to hear any more stereotypes. I've never seen white people happier to get a watermelon in their hands. See how stereotypes fucked up. Everybody around this truck is white. I only see a few black hands. I'm disappointed, but I see a few black hands up there. Not too many. And they're making fun of, they're like mocking the white people later on. The white woman's like, "Are they sweet?" Like, "Yeah, of course they're sweet." And she's like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll buy one." And you're like, "Yeah, you dumbass white woman." Like,
dummy, right? It's so sweet. It's like we put the sugar in the ground. Like,
yeah, she believed.
Like, I've never heard that before. Like, you fucking moron. Like, give me $1. Get out of my face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like watermelon, right? Neither one of you niggas like watermelon.
No, I'm not a fan.
Weirdos.
I'm not a big melon guy. No,
I don't like.
I don't like. Well, not mango. What's that other one that
I love?
One of them melons. It's fucking gross.
I'll eat mango, but
cantaloupe.
I hate cantaloupe.
Ugh. Cantaloupe is the white people of fruit. Get out of here.
It's like melon is like crunchy backwash. Like I don't want that. It's like drinking a bubbly with
it's a
shit in it.
No, it's a
like a LaCroix. Yeah.
You want flavored seltzer water, but you're too cheap to buy a good one. Get out.
I don't think I've ever had LaCroix. Like somebody said, it tastes like TV static. What LaCroix tastes like?
It's so bad.
What is it
so bad? It's awful. I like seltzer water with flavor in it. It's fine. Like the Kirkland brand at Costco is better than LaCroix.
God damn.
They just rub a lemon on the side of the box and then just send it out.
Right. They just zest it. They just zest it. They take zest and they wring it out, and whatever falls into the water falls into it, and then that's a fucking LaCroix. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. So at this point, they come back. They got all this good old fashioned watermelon money, and Whining Boy is like, "Hey, Lyman, how about I sell you this suit?" And he sells him a suit, the shirt, and the shoes, all for like $9 or 50. No, I'm sorry, $50. $50 for the whole thing.
50.
Wasn't
it?
No,
it wasn't 50.
Was it that? No.
No, he said
it was like
that's right. No, I think he said, yeah, he sold it for 20. That's right. He said originally it was like a $50 suit or something like that.
No, he didn't sell it for 20. He sold it for like $8 or $9.
Yeah, he said I should be charging.
I should be charging. That's right.
He sold the suit for like $4. He sold the shoes for like $2. So it was like $6 or $7 altogether. Them shoes did not fit that nigga. Like,
no, not at all.
Come on.
And I think he originally says the suit was like $50 or something like that. Look,
yeah, $50 silk suit.
Look, I'll say this, and I mean it. If I put a $50 suit on my body, I would break out in hives. Get out of here.
Like, it's 1937.
Nah,
yo, get out. $1,000 suit now. Like, what are you talking
No. Absolutely.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, those
First
shoes.
of all, it is the Great Depression, so like, everybody was kind of doing bad at this point in time. So
yeah, so
that was money.
Yeah, that means black people are doing even worse.
Yeah. And this was a very nice house. When I first turned him, I'm like, it's a pretty nice house.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Whose house is this? Like, is it her house?
It honestly looks exactly like the house in Fences, which is kind of interesting.
It probably is.
I think that would be kind of dope if they just used the same set. Like, I think that'd be kind of interesting. Right. It's just a different, time frame. So yeah, he sells him this suit with these tiny ass little shoes, like his feet were bound like a Chinese woman from the 1920s.
I wear a size 9. I'm like, big ass don't wear no motherfucking size.
Yo, I wear a size 9. Yo, I
was like, your big ass don't wear no size 9 shoe. Get out of here, dog. This nigga's like 6'8". He's so much taller than everybody else in this movie. It's crazy.
Oh,
Talking about a size 9. I'm like, I don't believe you, but okay.
That's funny.
Like, you can't tell we wear the same size shoe? And he's like,
Yeah, his foot was like...
He took his foot away real quick. This scamming ass nigga.
I like at the end of the day, he's like, oh, my feet hurt. Yeah, I bet they do.
Yeah, nigga, he was probably wearing a size 6 or whatever the fuck. What the size is the same back in 37? I don't even know. I would assume so.
They just came in men's and women's. That's it. That's the size. But yeah, they go out to the club. Erykah Badu is out there trying to get people to make babies. I get it.
Right.
And again, wood. So yeah, they're all having fun or whatever. And we see Bernice is having visions of Sutter. And I guess the ghost of the yellow dog. It's haunting her about the piano and about history and about her, her great grandmother and the piano. So she's kind of freaking out. She's been freaking out for a while about this. Avery comes over, trying to be smooth again. I don't trust it. But she's like, look, I might need to, get somebody to help with this ghost. And he's like, we're going to have to call somebody. I'm not qualified for this.
Like, I ain't that kind of pastor. Like, I'm a TD Jakes type. I ain't trying to do all that.
TD Jakes type.
You might need to call a fucking exorcist.
Have you ever been swallowed?
Yeah, I think he had like a stroke or something the other day.
Yeah, he's been real quiet since that Diddy shit came out. It's like,
then someone sued him for being, oh no, he sued some guy for like saying that he was like sexually molested him as not a kid, but like, So that stroke came on really fucking convenient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well. Oh, poor TD.
All them niggas are scammers, dog. All of them. I don't give a fuck. All pastors are scammers. That's my theory. All of them. All of them.
I don't even know if
every single one of them.
I don't know if I would say all of them, but certainly if you have a church that's got like
you have a mega church, you're a scammer.
Yeah, you're a scammer.
Yeah. I agree with that.
You have a little small constituency, nothing wrong with that. But I mean, I have my other issues with that, but that's fine, whatever. But come to church. It's at the Lincoln Center every Sunday, and get the fuck out of here. No, it's not. Like,
nah, yo. If your pews have cushions, you a scammer.
Yeah. Wood.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be fucking hardwood, nigga. So you're uncomfortable the entire fucking sermon.
Yeah, that's Jesus talking to you. Like, my ass hurts, so that's the devil. Or whatever. I don't
get behind me. Whatever.
Get behind me. Yeah. So Lyman comes back to the house and he's like, yeah. Do you like my suit and my tiny little shoes? And he's talking to Bernice and he's like, yeah, I bought this suit and I got this cologne today, and and she's like, oh, okay, like you can leave anytime, like get the fuck out of here. And so he starts, as the young people say, he starts rizzing her up. Is that how you say it, Terrence? You work with young people. Are they rizzing people up?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. He begins to
risen whatever.
He begins to dole out localized versions of Riz, and he puts a little bit of cologne on Bernice, and she's like, I think I may want to make out with this watermelon man, and so she does. Poor Avery.
Where did this go?
I was like, go ahead, Lyman. It didn't go anywhere, but like,
the ghost showed up and
didn't go anywhere by the end of the movie, but like, right.
Yeah, like she walks upstairs. Follow her. Go, nigga. What you waiting on? They ain't gonna be down at the juke joint for a couple more hours. Get to going. So yeah, they kiss and everybody is happy, and then he doesn't go upstairs, which is stupid. So later on, we see Bernice. She's fixing her daughter's hair, she said some really kind of fucked up shit to her daughter, like, "Oh, you know, your hair is a lot of work. Wish you were a boy."
Damn, what the fuck?
And,
that's-
Boy Willie
and I
was
was
not.
100% behind Boy Willie. I'm like, yeah, that's fucked up. Don't say that.
Yeah,
to
that's
your
not some
daughter,
shit you
dog.
say to kids, man. And like, I feel like he was angrier than he needed to be, just because he's still mad about the piano.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not wrong. Like, you don't say some shit like that to kids. Like, that's how you give kids a complex. It's fucked up. Avery comes over, and shit goes left. Right? Like, it just like the ghost shows up and everybody's freaking out, and she starts playing the piano, as Micah said, Bernice does, praying for the ancestors to help her, and then the ghost basically kicks the shit out of Boy Willie, and
Yeah, Boy Willie refused to go upstairs throughout the entire play, right? Like, and the ghost is upstairs, and he refuses to go upstairs. So
he's scared.
Yeah, he was scared. He was scared.
Yeah, if you're scared.
But he finally goes upstairs, and this is the part of the movie that I described earlier, where the two of them have to kind of reckon with the other argument in their own way, right? Like, Boy Willie goes upstairs, and it's all metaphor, right? Because like this nigga's getting thrown around by fucking Brutus the Barber Beefcake or some shit. he's fucking and is making all this noise, right? But like nobody's going up there to check on him, right? Because like heavy-handed metaphor.
The lights are too busy flickering, and the pastor's performing a goddamn exorcism, and the house is shaking.
He trying, but man, poor Avery. He trying.
He's like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
He putting up a good front, man. He putting up a good, like, this is some straight up, like, some serious on the job training that's going on right here. He just,
like, I ain't need this to be my first go round. God damn, I quit.
I don't even have my church yet, guys. Like, come on now. But yeah, this is, and look, I get it, right? Like, but this is the part where I'm like, all right, this is a little Lee Daniels-ish, partly because of that last movie we saw, and partly because like this stuff is,
right.
yeah, and partly because like this stuff is kind of on the nose, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being like, on the nose. It's just like, be a little more elegant with it, but at the same time, like, I don't know what I would have done. So,
right, it's a little hard for me to look at this and be like, August Wilson could have done better. Like, this is that's a wild thing to say. Like, Denzel, were you crying in this movie?
Like, there was like a little featurette on that came on right after this that had the cast and some of the producers, including Denzel Washington. And apparently, like, this play was the one that August Wilson didn't think could be adapted because of the ending, right? Because like the ending is a lot of symbolism,
right?
That you have to kind of dictate on screen. I want to know how they pulled this off on.
I was about to say, what they do on stage.
Yeah.
How did they get a guy
like
probably just a lot of light flickering.
Yeah.
Maybe John David Washington threw himself down a flight of stairs or some shit. I don't know.
All right,
but yeah.
All right. So, and that's
I actually like the argument that they were having prior to like the house becoming haunted. I thought that was a very good scene, and then all hell broke loose. Like, she pulled the hammer out on that nigga. She's like, "I got something."
Yeah, she was like, "Oh shit!" Like, yo, I'm about to shoot your mother.
I was like, when she said it, before she got it, was like 5 minutes before she got the gun. I'm like, she ain't about to pull the hammer out on this nigga, is she? And she did. She went upstairs to get a gun. I'm like, oh well, called it. Then like she just put it in her pocket, and it never came back out because the ghost of Christmas past started beating this nigga's ass. And then the ending just happened. I was like, oh, okay, well, did he get his land or not? He's there.
Probably not.
Okay.
You're gonna have to sell more.
And now she's giving like, that is her and her daughter's playing the piano because the ancestors came and got rid of that fucking asshole that was in her house that followed them from Mississippi to. Was Pittsburgh. The ghost in the piano? Was the ghost in the machine? Is that how that worked?
You never can tell.
I think we're being a little too literal. I think.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's just kind of
from Mississippi to Pittsburgh.
It's like, well, this is my goddamn.
It was the piano.
You niggas stole my piano. Goddamn it!
Like, no, it didn't.
Nah, I ain't going.
Took it back.
Well, you know what though? Maybe he just wanted to get the fuck out of Mississippi.
I mean, I get it. Get the hell out of there too. I understand.
Like, I died in Mississippi. Like, even my ghost I fell in a well in Mississippi. Like, yo.
I'm going to Pittsburgh.
This is unacceptable. I'm going up north.
Gotta haunt people up there. So the next August Wilson play, by the way, is going to be Joe Turner's Come and Gone, which apparently in 1988, Delroy Lindo and Angela Bassett starred in that, and it was nominated for 6 Tony Awards, winning one of them.
God damn.
So, yeah, that should be an interesting one to see. The story of that, by the way, is set in the second decade of the 20th century, follows Harold Loomis, not Dr. Loomis, who on a journey in the search of his estranged wife must first contend with his own sense of heritage and identity in a story of spiritual and emotional resurrection. So it'd be dope if he got both of them to come back. I mean, they're both still very good actors, I mean, I feel like Delroy Lindo got fucking robbed for that performance.
For the Fabulous?
Yes, 100% he got robbed. Yeah. He didn't even get nominated that year because I think that was like during COVID or some shit. I was like,
I don't think that movie got nominated for. Did he get nominated for anything?
I don't think so. But he should have 100% been nominated, which was just complete bullshit. That man is an excellent actor. So that is it for us.
You think Denzel Washington gonna be alive to make all 10 of these movies?
I hope so.
Is he? 70? 69,
Yeah.
70 years old?
Yeah.
He's come out with one. Ma Rainey Black Bottom came out, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Year and a half ago?
I mean, if he's not in them, right? Like he's planning on retiring soon. Like if he's not in them,
yeah.
I think you just have to farm them out a little bit more, right? The problem is
like we're 3 in, right? This is his 3rd one.
Yeah,
we got 7 more.
Yeah,
got a decade. Fucking Francis Ford Coppola's 80 years old, and he made that terrible fucking Megalopolis
nigga. I forgot about that movie until you just literally.
Jesus Christ.
How you gonna hide a bow and arrow with the arrow knocked in the bow? Ooh, look at my boner. All right, yo. All right.
It's a real movie, guys. It's a real movie. Real people.
Oh shit.
All right. That's it for us. We will see you guys next week for a preview episode for episode 274. Later.
See you.
Take it easy.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.